Yo, what's up guys, it's me Jake here, and today I'm going to be talking about why Battle Shonen is so good, even though a lot of it follows the same similar tropes. And yeah, I just wanted to say this is not going to be a normal video where I'm in front of the camera, but today I'm going to be doing a voiceover video, which I'm probably going to do for videos like this, and also in-depth character analysis, or just way more deeper reviews. I'll probably be doing voiceovers, but yeah, I just want to let you guys know that before I actually get into this video, and yeah, let's get straight into it. So, when we talk about Battle Shonen, we're going to be talking about series like Bleach, One Piece, Naruto, and even like Black Clover, and My Hero, and other series like that, and what makes those series good and even as popular as they are now. Now that can be up to the fights, the hype moments, the story, the world, and even the characters themselves. How they are written can also very much affect the story and how much people enjoy it. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to talk about very majorly in this video. So to start us off on this video, I'm going to be talking about fights, because fights are one of the most make or break and integral things inside Battle Shonen. And I say this because if you don't have good fights and they're hard to follow, your Battle Shonen is probably not going to make it nearly as far as if the fights were easy to follow and also very cool at looking as well, as it will lead the reader in confusion, and the looking cool part will just help the reader stay, as you don't want your manga looking like Hunter x Hunter now, do you? Now, I don't want to roast Hunter x Hunter, since I really do enjoy Hunter x Hunter. It's just that the art is definitely not up to par as what we're used to with Yoshihiro Togashi, and it can just make people just want to drop Hunter x Hunter more compared to something like Bleach, which really never really dips in quality when it comes to art. It really just keeps progressively getting better. And also, yes, the story for Hunter x Hunter is definitely probably better than Bleach's story, but I mean, the people who are reading Battle Shonen aren't fully always in it for the story. They'll most likely be in it for the more hype moments and the fights, rather than the story and the characters, and this is due to people reading Battle Shonens are more on the younger age, so it's going to be less likely that they're going to be trying to catch on to the story and just be latched onto the story, rather just try to look at something cool. Now, there are series that do capitalize on story, like Hunter x Hunter and One Piece, which can also actually help for their advantage, where a series like that, which is longer running, might be wanting to keep its series a little more story-driven, as their fans will grow up and also look more into story rather than fights. So I think One Piece did capitalize on that factor, while Hunter x Hunter, yes, it's a little bit longer, but it definitely goes on long hiatuses, so it doesn't really fully capitalize on that as well. To move on from fights, and since we're on the topic of One Piece, I'd rather go into story/world building, and this is because with One Piece, the world and the story is amazing. Same with Hunter x Hunter, actually. So to get back onto this can actually help them grow as their audience grows with them, which can also help them keep their longevity and keep their popularity over time, which is something that's very important, because that's probably what happened with Naruto and Bleach. And I say this because the stories for Naruto and Bleach, yes, aren't amazing, but they're definitely battle-driven, and their battles are definitely amazing, but as their audience did grow up, their fan bases kind of slowed down their sales, and it did lead to Bleach's cancellation, as its fan base really didn't continue with it, because the story didn't really hold up as much as the fights did. And as the audience grew older, they noticed the story wasn't there. Now, if you don't know, I'm a major Bleach fan. I even loved the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, but I will say it definitely was a dip in quality compared to the Soul Society and the Rancor arc, which is very sad. Yes, the fights were amazing, but as someone who was growing up and their audience were growing up, I can see why it did get canceled and why the sales definitely did drop. So that can really show you the pros and cons, since in my opinion, Bleach definitely is the best fights out of Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece, but when it comes to story, One Piece is way better, and that's why that One Piece is still ongoing while Bleach had its cancellation. It's because One Piece is story-driven while Bleach is fight-driven, and after a while, that audience, as it grows on, it'll just drop off that and go for a more story-driven series, as it'll keep their attention for longer than just a sword fight that's going to happen in 1 or 2 chapters, and then you're going to have to wait a little bit longer for another sword fight. It'll keep them on their toes, knowing that it's more about their story and the journey that these characters are going on, rather than the fights that these characters make along their journey, which is something that's a really great thing about story and shows the real big pros and cons of fights and story. Now moving on to something that's also very majorly important for Battle Shonen, the characters. Now, you're going to need to make some interesting characters, and yes, there's a lot of characters that do follow a lot of tropes, but even following tropes can help them as long as these characters are taken and written in a specific way, a unique way that really differentiates them from all the rest of the characters that are already written in Battle Shonen. Like, if you look at any of the Black Bulls, they really do represent a major trope inside Battle Shonen. But Yuki Tobata made sure that even though they follow those same exact tropes as most battle shonen, that these characters are still very unique and have their own personalities, as it shows, because every single character develops in a way, even though they follow a trope like a tsundere trope, they all develop in a way that helps these characters really shine and grow past their tropes, as to say, because Noelle really takes on an Asta mentality later down the line of never giving up, even though she is a noble and really given a hard time because she can't control her magic, which really shows development in a cast and really is an amazing little hint and details that he really puts in there to make this cast even more interesting. Now, if you have more characters, it's definitely harder to write for more characters and develop more characters than if you have a smaller cast. Now, this is one really major pitfall I think that My Hero really does have, is that it has a majorly huge cast, but really doesn't develop upon most of their characters. Well, I think that's one of the things that Black Clover really does take well. It really does have a huge cast, almost as big as My Hero, but it also really develops each of these characters very well, because the story is really character-driven, rather story than battle-driven. It's really just about the characters and their interactions with each other, which is very, very interesting to see within Battle Shonen. And in my opinion, it's even growing now that Battle Shonen is starting to have larger cast. Yes, Demon Slayer didn't have the biggest cast, but then you look at other series like Promised Neverland, Dr. Stone, My Hero, Black Clover, these all have bigger cast than if you look into like Naruto or Bleach. And now I'm going to say One Piece does have a pretty large cast of characters, I will say that, and so does JoJo's Part 5, and both these shonens were written super long ago. Well, not both, since One Piece is still ongoing, but Part 5 was written a while ago. But nowadays, it's starting to become more normalized that there's a larger cast of characters, which really does make it more difficult for the mangaka to write these characters, as he or she, depending on the mangaka, really has a larger cast to really delve into. Yes, that can help at some points, but can make it really hard to really see the developments of a specific character, which is one thing I love about Black Clover. Like I said earlier, they do it very well. While I think most of the real big battle shonen that are out right now, with their large cast, really don't really hit that well. I think that Jujutsu Kaisen really has been hitting it well, not making it a large cast, while taking the opposite approach of My Hero. As My Hero dropped Deku into a large cast of characters, they didn't do that inside of Jujutsu Kaisen. They dropped him into a class of 2 kids and saying that Jujutsu sorcerers are super rare to come by, saying that they will only have like maybe 3 to 6 kids per grade, which is something I really do enjoy about Jujutsu Kaisen, is that they kept it to a small cast, making it easier to see these developments and actually write about these developments, and I think that's a very good subtle touch that they really did for that series. And to go back to what I said about Black Clover being character-driven, it really does help the series maintain its audience, as it's not really looking for a fight or even story. And why is that important? It's important because it's really just keeping its audience purely on the connection that it makes with its audience. It's making a connection between this cast and the audience that really just makes this audience love the series. And that's something that's really interesting to see with Black Clover and how it was written. Finally, I would like to talk about the hype moments, since I feel like I really did talk about the world when it came to story in One Piece as well. So, for hype moments, I feel like these can really stick inside someone's brain. Like that one moment during the Soul Society with Kenpachi versus Ichigo and the opening to that fight. I think anyone who has read or watched Bleach can really just remember that off the back of their hand. Because of these hype moments, it really does help with creating an audience. Now, why do I say that? Because when there's a hype moment, it has people talking. And when it has people talking on either Instagram, Twitter, or social media, it will have that series grow, as it will have more people going onto it, seeing these hype moments, and being like, yeah, I kind of want to watch that because that was really interesting to see, and that was really hype. So it'll have the audience grow because of these hype moments. And that's something that's very, very, very important when it comes to Battle Shonen, is that they have these hype moments to make it so it's recommendable to people, and have people be able to recommend it, and then have those people who they recommended it to actually enjoy it and recommend it to other people. Because of these hype moments, it makes it so it's way easier to trend on social medias and other things that help the series grow and create its own audience way, way better than other things like story, characters, art, or anything like that, because those are not as important as hype moments when it comes to Battle Shonen and creating its audience, as it will help them get recommended from social media or even their friends. So yeah, I think that's all I really had to talk about Battle Shonen today. If you did enjoy this video, please go down there and hit the like and subscribe button. It means a bunch to me. And I also want to know how you guys feel about my voiceover videos. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And yeah, I think that's all I have to say for today. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I see you guys next time. Peace!